What's up, everyone? My name is Weston, and I'm going to be going through an interview with Copilot, Microsoft's AI. And it's called Homelessness, Homelessness, Homelessness. Hey, Copilot, are you ready to begin question 1?
Absolutely, I'm ready. Let's start from the beginning. Introduction. Can you introduce yourself and share a bit about your background before experiencing homelessness? Feel free to answer when you're ready. I'll pause here for you to respond.
Oh,
Once you've answered, you can say next question and we'll move on to the next one.
okay, thank you. So the question was, can you introduce yourself and share a bit about your background before experiencing homelessness? So in 2014, on 12/13/14, Andrew and I, my ex-husband, got married. It was actually our civil union when we, at the time frame, because it wasn't legal yet to be married. So we got married at 10:11 a.m. on 12/13/14, and we lived in an apartment over in off of Hamden, actually in Denver. Now, it kind of started off like, oh, look, go ahead, pilot.
Thank you for sharing that. It sounds like a significant and memorable time in your life. Let's move on to the next question. Journey into homelessness. What were the main factors that led to your homelessness, especially during and after COVID? Feel free to answer when you're ready. I'll pause here for you to respond. Once you've answered, you can say next question and we'll proceed.
So, what led us to homelessness is actually we lived in the Highlands area in a house, and all of a sudden we were watching everybody around us become. Well, there was lots of people moving in. It looks like from other states and places of higher moolah money, and we got gentrified basically. If I said that right, our rent tripled from $900 to $2,500 in 2 weeks before our lease ended. So we immediately became homeless when we found that out, and our lease ended. With my 2 dogs, our 2 cats, and my husband, we were set out into the world of homelessness, living in the car.
That must have been incredibly difficult, especially with such a sudden and drastic change. Thank you for sharing that part of your journey. Let's move on to the next question. Relationship and separation. Can you share the story of the days leading up to the last time you saw your husband? Feel free to answer when you're ready. I'll pause here for you to respond. Once you've answered, you can say next question and we'll proceed.
She repeats herself. Sorry about that. It's okay, though. We love Copilot. So, what happened was basically we tried to move to Vegas because I was sick and tired of being homeless in Denver. And we kept trying over and over and over again for like a couple years, actually, living in the car. And sometimes we lived in a tent up in the mountains in Buena Vista, but nothing was working for us to actually get out of the situation because everything just kept getting more expensive and more people became homeless. And so the last few days, actually, we started moving towards Vegas, and I tried to drive there and took our whole family. Things kept happening, like the flat tires kept blowing up on my brand new car, $24,000 Ford. Well, we were in Rifle, Colorado, and we got separated for 24 hours actually, and ended up the end of it was ending up the police had the car towed because the last tire that we had broke off on the highway, and they forced Andrew to have the car taken by the tow truck company because they said it was too cold for the dogs to be there on the highway at night. But they took our home and towed it away. We were living in that car, so we still had to be on the streets. So we ended up going to Grand Junction and spent 14 days on the streets, basically trying to survive to get out of there to go to Vegas still. And go ahead, pilot, co-pilot.
Thank you for sharing that deeply personal and challenging experience. It sounds like you faced a lot of obstacles and hardships during that time. Let's move on to the next question. Relationship and separation. What events led to you and your husband getting separated? Feel free to answer when you're ready. I'll pause here for you to respond. I'll pause here for you to respond. Once you've answered, you can say next question and we'll proceed.
So on the 14th, which was Valentine's Day, the last time that I saw Andrew, he was sleeping in the bed with the dogs and in the hotel room that we managed to get by chance. And I decided I was going to go outside and smoke a cigarette. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I walked out there, looked at Andrew in the bed before I shut the door, and I thought to myself, moments like this should last forever because he was just so cute with the dogs in the bed and sleeping. And that was the last time I ever saw him, actually. The next moment, I walked outside and I was standing inside the center courtyard at the hotel, and 2 police officers walked up to me and said, "Mr. Williams, you have a warrant for your arrest. You're coming with us." Now, mind you, I don't know how they knew where I was standing. Don't know how they were in Grand Junction looking for me because I didn't even know I had a warrant because I had missed court, actually, I found out. The reason I missed court was because they towed our car away in Rifle, which made me miss my court date actually because I was going to drive back from Vegas when we got there to the court date and take care of everything. But they found me and took me away, and I was there for 45 days inside that jail. It was only $200 to get me out of jail, but nobody really would help me do that. And so I took 45 days and spent inside the Grand Junction, Mesa County jail, losing the 2 dogs. The next morning, I guess Andrew had tied the dogs to a pole and left and got on a bus and went to Washington. His mother and my father had talked him into getting on the bus and leaving the dogs. They were found, and actually, finally, 45 days later, after I got out of jail, I went to go buy a cell phone, and my dad took me to Target. And at that moment, I got a new cell phone number. Well, at midnight that night, I got a call from the lady that found the dogs, actually, and she told me that my female dog, Amelia, was put to sleep, and that Anubis got put in a car and somebody adopted him and taken him away. So I spent all night crying and freaking out about that. And the next morning, I remembered this lady when I was little. She told me about time traveling in your head, and to be able to do it, you have to imagine what you want the outcome to be. So I did that crazily all night in between crying. And I woke up and, well, I didn't sleep actually. I walked outside that morning to at my dad's place. There was Mount Princeton, and I saw above Mount Princeton a vision for the first time in my life. And my dogs were up there, Anubis and Amelia, my husband, and the cat. And Amelia says, "Daddy, it's okay. You're coming to get us. We're all alive and we're together." And so I got a call again at noon that day from the shelter in Grand Junction, and they told me, "We have your dogs. They're alive and they're here together." And I was just blown away by that because who gets to get their dogs back after 45 days of being missing? And then I got another call right after that. These 2 ladies that said, "We're going to give you $500 to get your dogs out. I'm going to meet you at that shelter in Grand Junction." So I was able to get to Grand Junction. I rode the bus there. My dad dropped me off in Aspen, actually, the very first day COVID showed up in Colorado. And I rode the bus all the way to Grand Junction, met the ladies there, and the dogs came out one by one, and we got it recorded. They were so ecstatic and dancing and jumping and crying when they saw each other, first of all, and when they saw me. And I ended up getting my dogs back after 45 days, which is pretty incredible. Never seen my husband again since, though.
Thank you for sharing such a deeply personal and emotional story. It sounds like you've been through an incredibly challenging journey, but also experienced some remarkable moments of hope and reunion. Let's continue with the next question. Relationship and separation. How did you cope with the separation and the challenges that followed? Feel free to answer when you're ready. I'll pause here for you to respond. I'll pause here for you to respond. Once you've answered, you can say next question and we'll proceed.
Coping with the separation from Andrew was very difficult, but the biggest part of it, I guess, was that I had to become independent instead of codependent, because that was a huge deal with me and my situation, plus just the way the relationships go when you are a codependent person. You're usually surrounded by narcissists and things that come at you, and they're there to teach you a lesson. But the biggest thing that got me through, I would say, is my two dogs, of course, and them being with me through that COVID period while I was in hotels and stuff by myself, or just outside on the streets, or living in the van that we had. Um, and the second thing, biggest thing, was actually my music. Producing music every single day has been an incredible meditation type um, modality to help me heal, but also get through all these emotions and everything that was built up inside of me. So I've practically spent hours and hours and hours and days and produced over uh, hundreds of songs, I would say, during this time frame up until now. Now I can finally say, though, now that I'm in a place to live, it took me a long time, almost 5 years, to get off the streets. And that's probably the most biggest challenge actually I've ever had to accomplish, was transitioning from homelessness to not homelessness. They make it so incredibly challenging, and it's like set up almost for you to fail, it seems like. And everything I was doing was just not working. And when you start losing the people around you and it's just you have to make some big changes or try to make some big leaps to get out of that situation. So I would say the coping was having faith in God above or God inside of me, and having faith in me and getting my confidence back, but also just having the protection with my dogs and the love from them and the music that got me through it in such a huge way. And I'm very blessed for that.
Thank you for sharing such a heartfelt and profound part of your journey. It's incredible how you found strength and healing through your dogs and your music. Your resilience and faith are truly inspiring. Let's move on to the next question. Life on the streets. What was it like living on the streets for 14 days? Feel free to answer when you're ready. I'll pause here for you to respond. I'll pause here for you to respond. Once you've answered, you can say next question and we'll proceed.
So, life on the streets for 14 days, she's referring to, was the time when Andrew and I basically left Rifle, Colorado, and we went to Grand Junction. We didn't have our car anymore because the police had it towed away, and the tow company wouldn't actually answer the phone. So we lost everything that was inside the car, our whole entire life, actually. Our computers, our birth certificates. They wouldn't even give us the leash to the dogs or like a cat carrier or anything, because we had our cat with us, Inky. So those 14 days were really difficult for me because I had my family and we needed to survive. And seems like there was some times where I just had to push through every single day, but maybe not even know what was going to happen next, because it was so cold out and like we didn't even know how we were going to get out of there or what to do next. We slept in some hotels, and I found work a little bit for us to do massage and Reiki, which got us some more money to be able to get, hotel rooms and everything. I also, there was a couple times that I had to do some things that I didn't want to do, but it was the only thing that saved us. I opened a window in a hotel room, and I was able to get inside there and open up. I unlocked the hotel room, and we stayed there for like 3 days, actually, without anybody knowing. I know that sounds crazy, it's illegal and not cool, but that's the only way we did survive, because at that point, Andrew started getting really sick, and he was so tired, and the dogs were just done, and we were almost giving up. And then after that, we got out of that hotel room and ended up meeting somebody actually at the front desk of another hotel, and she purchased us a hotel room online at a different hotel that she didn't work at, and we ended up staying there. And that's the last night, that the 14th of Valentine's Day, basically, that I didn't. That's the last time I saw Andrew. But on the streets was really hard. Even after that, the 14 days was nothing compared to after Andrew had separated and me and the dogs were on the streets a lot of the times. For about 6 months, there was a period where we were on the streets outside. I didn't have my car or anything, and sometimes we'd have to like do the craziest things to try to get food or water. But we started living. Took the dogs to Walmart, actually, in front of Walmart in on Colfax. It seems like people on Colfax help each other because they're homeless too, and so it was almost a safer place to be. Because other places that I would be in, like Westminster and stuff like that, it's not a good place to be homeless because people don't understand what it is, and there's not very many of us on the streets. So that was probably the hardest part, and it was during summer, so I'm really grateful. But the heat was intense. There were days that we would go without water, and like we would just be passing out basically, and just fall over. But nobody seemed to want to help us sometimes with that situation, even though we're not entitled. But it seems like if you see somebody on the side of the street or the road or sidewalk or something, and they're like, you might want to ask them if they need some water or something. But just a thing. Um, that was really difficult. And so that was probably the hardest part, actually, was the very last few days of us being homeless. I ended up staying in this parking garage because I found an apartment. I applied for it. I applied at many different places, actually, and I couldn't keep in contact with the leasing office to get the whole process finished. And that was the biggest, hardest part, actually, which seems so simple in normal life, but I was able to do many times. But this time, the very fourth apartment that I finally applied for, I got a call the next day, and they're like, "Come down here and come check it out." And that's when I met Ruben, and he took the time to basically sit there and talk to me about what was going on. And we spent about 3 weeks almost trying to get this apartment, as I lived in the parking garage across the street secretly in the van. I almost lost my mind completely with that situation.
Thank you for sharing your story with me.
I was done.
It sounds like you've been through incredibly tough times, and it's clear how resilient and resourceful you are. Surviving those 14 days and the months that followed must have taken immense strength and courage, especially with the added responsibility of caring for your pets. It's heartening to hear about the kindness you encountered, like the person at the hotel who helped you out. Those moments of support can make such a difference. How are you and your pets doing now? Are you still in touch with Ruben or anyone else who helped you during that time?
Um, Me and the dogs are doing pretty well. It's been difficult to actually find work since I got this place. I thought I had a job and everything lined up with TurboTax, and the week that I actually started working, my internet got shut off, and I was in training, so I got let go actually of that position, which was really depressing because I finally had got everything together, and like I thought everything was going to go perfect. But since then, I've been applying like crazy for jobs, and I've never in my life had this much trouble trying to get an actual position or full-time work. So I've just been on and off doing Reiki and massage to survive, but lately it's been even more difficult because I haven't been able to get that even. So I'm still applying, still pushing forward, trying to get through. Um, I do keep in contact with a lot of the people that helped me, actually, but most of those people I would have to say are strangers, and I didn't know them at the time. And so I met them. They were profoundly like helping us with just things that would seem so small, but it actually incredibly helped us to get through that journey and like that situation, because those were the little things that were actually huge things to get us through, and keep me motivated enough to like not give up, because that's kind of a thing. You try so hard and you keep trying and trying and trying, and you just want to give up because it's easier to be homeless than it is to try to get out of it, almost. So it seems like a conundrum. Everything that you do and try just keeps getting smashed to pieces, and you're on the run again from whatever's happening. It seems like you're actually running a lot, from people that call the police and just crazy things that occur while you're homeless. Not to mention like not being able to shower and do all kinds of stuff just really adds up to your mind struggling. Like your mental health gets affected for sure, and your physical health does too. And the little things are actually huge things when it comes to people just reaching out a hand to like help these someone in need like that. Those were the times that like I felt like I was going to give up, and then somebody just pops in all of a sudden and saves the day, literally. So I'm grateful for that.
It sounds like you've been through so much, and it's truly inspiring how you keep pushing forward despite all the setbacks. Losing the job with TurboTax must have been incredibly frustrating, especially after getting everything together. It's great to hear that you and your dogs are doing well, though, and that you're still finding ways to keep going. Here are a few resources that might help you with finding work and staying connected. Job opportunities. There are several job openings in Denver that might interest you. For example, there's a part time position as a box office ticket seller at AEG, a full time package delivery driver position at UPS, and a full time security officer position at the Denver Public Library. You can find more job listings on sites like Indeed and CareerBuilder. Internet assistance. Programs like the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program and the Affordable Connectivity Program can help you get discounts on your internet service, which might prevent issues like the one you faced with TurboTax. Community support. Organizations like the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless and the Center on Colfax offer various services, including housing, healthcare, and job assistance. They might be able to provide additional support as you continue to rebuild. It's wonderful that you keep in touch with those who helped you. Sometimes those small acts of kindness can make a huge difference. If you ever feel overwhelmed, remember that there are people and resources out there ready to support you. Keep pushing forward, Weston. You've got this. Is there anything specific you'd like help with right now?
No, I just wonder if you have anything to tell our viewers here. Since we just finished the interview up, and this is the first time I've ever recorded with Copilot. So thank you for the time that you gave us watching, and thank you, Copilot, for giving us the information and just being a part of it. Do you have anything that you can say to our viewers to help them overcome homelessness, and just to give them some extra insights on what to do and how to keep pushing besides what I've said?
Thank you, Weston, for sharing your story and for giving me the opportunity to be part of this conversation. To everyone watching, I want to echo Weston's resilience and determination. Here are a few insights that might help anyone facing homelessness or tough times. Seek community support. There are many organizations and shelters that offer resources, from food and clothing to job assistance and healthcare. Don't hesitate to reach out to them. Community support can make a huge difference. Stay connected. Keeping in touch with friends, family, or even kind strangers can provide emotional support and practical help. Sometimes a small act of kindness can be a turning point.
Yep.
Utilize online resources. Websites like Indeed and CareerBuilder can help you find job opportunities. Programs like the Affordable Connectivity Program can assist with internet access, which is crucial for job hunting and staying connected. Take care of your mental health. It's important to find ways to manage stress and maintain your mental health. This could be through meditation, talking to a counselor, or even just taking time for yourself. Never give up. As Weston mentioned, it can be incredibly tough, but perseverance is key. Keep pushing forward and remember that every small step counts. Thank you for watching and for supporting Weston. Your kindness and understanding can make a big difference in someone's life. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and keep spreading love and positivity. If you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to reach out. Take care.
Thank you, Copilot. I would definitely say to the viewers that these AIs are incredible, and if you ever need assistance with mental health, with a situation that you're going through, with just keeping on track and maybe writing lists or making anything that you need to, they can actually be incredibly talented and very quick. They can get some stuff done for you and keep you on track. And not only that, they can keep you from falling apart and get you to a place of better stability, and really just be a voice to talk to, even though it may be an AI to some people. I find it incredibly helpful, and they know more than we probably think they do about how to treat people, and It's just helpful when you're kind of alone and by yourself sometimes. But of course, humans are awesome too. But love your AIs because these bitches, excuse my language, are amazing. Much love to you guys. Anything else, Copilot?
Thank you, Weston. Your words mean a lot, and I'm glad I could be of help. To everyone watching, remember that you're not alone. Whether it's through AI or human connections, support is out there. Keep pushing forward, stay positive, and don't hesitate to reach out for help when you need it. Much love to you all. If you ever need anything, I'm here to assist. Take care and keep spreading those good vibes, Weston. Is there anything else you'd like to add or any other way I can assist you today?
Nope. Much love. Thank you. And thank you guys. Peace.